The Earth's climate isn't just changing our weather, it's redrawing the boundaries of global power. Once framed as an environmental issue, climate change has evolved into the single most destabilizing force in geopolitics. It fuels famines, drives mass migration, opens new shipping lanes, ignites resource wars, and collapses governments. This is the true cost of a warming world. This is how climate chaos becomes global instability. This is TubeGeo, and this is how the climate crisis is reshaping the geopolitical chessboard. From flash floods to failed harvests, climate change now operates like a silent accelerant, intensifying everything it touches. Take Pakistan. In 2022, floods displaced over 30 million people. Now just this July, 63 more lives were lost in a single day as monsoon rains swept across Punjab, collapsing homes and overwhelming dams. In India, monsoon-triggered cloudbursts in Himachal Pradesh and Ajmer turned streets into rivers, killing dozens and sweeping away people, vehicles, and infrastructure. These aren't random weather events. These are climate-driven disasters happening more often, with greater force, and multiplying existing vulnerabilities. As you see on this map, these impacts create fiscal crises, political instability, and humanitarian breakdowns. The threat isn't the storm alone, it's what the storm does to an already fragile system. Water, life's most fundamental resource, is becoming a trigger for conflict. In the Nile Basin, Ethiopia's Grand Renaissance Dam now controls the river that supplies 95% of Egypt's water. One infrastructure project is reshaping regional power dynamics. In the Mekong Delta, China's 60-plus upstream dams choke the flow to Vietnam and Cambodia, leading to crop failures and plunging fish stocks. In the Sahel, years of drought have transformed land into dust and pastoral routes into battlegrounds. Lake Chad has shrunk by 90%. Armed groups now fight over wells. And around the globe, rising sea levels are salting farmland, from Bangladesh to the Mekong, turning fertile plains into wastelands. When water goes, food goes. When food goes, peace goes. By 2050, over 1.2 billion people could be displaced by climate-driven disasters. That's not migration, that's demographic transformation. This year alone in India and Pakistan, floods displaced thousands. Riverbanks crumbled, cities drowned, border tensions rose. In Central America, persistent drought is driving desperate families north. At the U.S. border, climate meets politics head-on. And Europe, already struggling with displacement from Syria and sub-Saharan Africa, it now braces for climate migrants as the Sahel and Horn of Africa dry up. These migrants aren't fleeing war. They're fleeing heat, water scarcity, and ecological collapse. But borders are closing, walls are rising, and climate migration is becoming the new front line of sovereignty and survival. At the top of the world, climate change is opening a new frontier of power, the Arctic. The melting sea ice is revealing untapped treasure: 30% of the world's undiscovered gas, 13% of its oil, and massive rare earth reserves. Russia has militarized the northern sea route with icebreakers, airfields, and missile systems. Canada claims the Northwest Passage, but lacks infrastructure and year-round access. China, despite being thousands of kilometers away, calls itself a near-Arctic state. Its ships are moving in. Its capital is flowing in. Its ambitions are rising. As the ice melts, competition hardens. Welcome to the new great game, powered by a warming planet. The battle over who pays is breaking global diplomacy. Developed nations cause most of the climate crisis, but developing nations bear the brunt. At COP28, $420 million was pledged for climate loss and damage. But by 2030, over $580 billion will be needed. Meanwhile, the race to dominate green tech is heating up. The US and EU are pouring billions into reshoring solar, wind, and EV industries, desperate to reduce dependence on China. But China still controls over 80% of critical minerals and dominates solar panel and battery production. This isn't just an energy transition. It's a trade war wrapped in green, and the climate club is splitting between those who can afford to go green and those who can't. In a world where the storms never stop, the most powerful nations will be the most resilient. Seawalls, vertical farms, smart grids, flood canals. These aren't luxuries, they're lifelines. India's Geological Survey is rolling out landslide early warning systems. Japan has AI-enhanced typhoon models. Kenya is building solar-powered irrigation hubs, and militaries are adapting too, deploying troops not just to fight wars, but to deliver aid and restore order in climate-hit zones. Resilience is more than survival. It's influence, stability, leadership. Here's the bitter truth. The poorest nations are being drowned, burned, and displaced by a crisis they didn't cause. This is why many call it climate colonialism. The global south demands not charity, but justice. The global north fears liability. Until this gap is bridged with real funding, technology sharing, and accountability, climate diplomacy will falter, and the planet will suffer. Climate change is no longer a future to fear. It is the present we live in. It is already redrawing borders, destabilizing states, and shifting the balance of power. This is not just the end of the old order. It is the beginning of something new. Stay aware. Stay informed. This is